Welcome. You are listening to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through the arts. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through Ayana. But you better call me Sister Speak. How you living, how you breathing, how you vibing. I don't know what vibing is, but how are you vibing? What's poppin'? The time is 9:23 p.m. Central Standard Time, recording from Dallas, Texas. Temperature about 67 degrees. Nice, cool. Everything is copacetic. I'm pressing through, and it is a joy divine to be able to converse with you yet again. You are tuned into the Suspense Files, covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. Tonight's episode: Poison, Deadly, Moving in Slow. Red Flags on the Play. Athletic Caruth Syndrome. A Cautionary Tale. Oh, yeah. We're going to definitely get into it. But, of course, welcome to my first time listeners. And welcome back to my faithful listeners, my national and international listeners. I appreciate you all for tuning in, for downloading, and for allowing the Sister Speak Show Network in totality to be the flavor in your ear. Thank you for adding us to your podcast shuffle and for allowing us to be on demand with you. It's a vibe. And we thank you so much, okay? You mean a lot to this entire network. To my first time listeners, the Sister Speak Show Network is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. You will need two things: water and scuba gear. Water because your body is made up of 95% of water. You need it to thrive. You need it to live. You need it for clarity, for healing, for cleansing. You need it to be able to withstand the wiles of the devil. It's your go juice. Without it, you're dehydrated and ashy, unmoisturized, dry. And you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that, okay? You don't always want to look like you're walking through fog. No, 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 no. Scuba gear, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. We dive to leagues of the sea where we have deep conversations. We want you to have on the right equipment so you can sustain yourself in the environment of our perspectives. Okay? You've been warned. Let me fix this microphone because I already know I'm not going to have the spirit of bumping the microphone. So anyway, brothers and sisters, I'm really excited about this episode because it's current and it's also reflective of something that I covered a while ago about a particular professional athlete by the name of Ray Caruth. And some of you may be aware of who he is, and for those of you who don't, hey, that's why we've got you, okay? So we're going to get into what Ray did when he panicked, when he got the news about his girlfriend, Sharika Adams, being pregnant. And as of late, there's another situation that made the news that we're going to focus on, which then led me to see, well, what else has occurred in the world of sports, concerning professional athletes panicking when it comes to their girlfriend or a groupie saying that they are pregnant. What is the temperature like? What is the climate like as we know it concerning DV, domestic violence, in the world of professional athleticism? It's crucial that we dive into this. Why is it crucial? Why not? We need to check the status, see what's going on, and see if any urban crimes have been committed as of late, and find out what's happened with Mr. Caruth since his release from prison. It's interesting. We are very dedicated to covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crimes on the Suspense Files. Okay, what's going on in our village, and how can we educate ourselves and take precaution when it comes to these type of tales, these type of incidences, these type of crimes. And experience is a teacher. These news clips that I'm going to play are for fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976 for educational purposes only. If you find it to be entertaining, we'll just call it for you edutainment. But the sole purpose of this is to raise awareness about after the game, after the touchdown, after the win, okay? After practice, what's going on off the field, okay? And if you are a fan of football, or if you are a female who is attracted to football only for its potential monetary gain for yourself and what comes with it, I would definitely encourage you to pay attention to the cautionary tale, because you definitely don't want to end up on one of these news clips. I hope that after listening to this, we will all be careful about who we engage with and understand that there are some people who are not ready for the next level, and they panic. They don't know what to do. Everything was going fine until they got the text message or the call saying, "We need to talk. I've got something to tell you." And when they heard the news, they didn't want to have anything to do with being a father. They weren't ready. They don't want to pay child support. They're not ready to marry in their minds. Not even understanding biblically how it really goes. And so they plot and they plan and they start acting funny. They're not the same love bomber that they used to be. You're slowing down their progress in this world of fame. This isn't a good look for them, so they feel. So they panic. And then they plot, because the pregnancy is not a part of the plan. This isn't the package deal that they signed up for. They just aren't ready. And that's how their decisions become deadly. Deadly. I thank you for choosing us to be the flavor in your ear. Tonight's episode, poison deadly, moving in slow. Red flags on the play. The athletic Caruth syndrome, a cautionary tale. Athletic Caruth syndrome, Sister Speak, what is that? Something that I decided to coin and phrase and put a term to it. I made this, not made it up, but I came up with it. This has to be a syndrome after listening to the clips that I listened to, after hearing the latest of how drastic of a measure that one particular person went in order to get rid of his baby. It just doesn't stop, and it should. Oh, it's more than just the pom-poms. It's more than just the excitement of the game. It's the running away from the responsibility off the field that creates the cautionary tale. Are you ready? Ooh, wee. You know I am. I'm Sister Speak. Who are you? Go on and say it. A wonderful listening audience. You. We're going to get into it after these commercial breaks. And I'm not going to hold you long, but I'm going to hold you strong. I got you. Okay, so I'll see you on the other side of these commercial breaks. When traveling, people have choices, whether it's by plane, train, ferry, taxi, or even the bus. However you choose to travel, you're expecting your experience to be incident and accident free. You're not expecting to have to encounter any type of crime or even murder. However, as of late, that's not the case. There are communities that are being plagued by people who have no moral compass. Bus rides are not safe, and people are really questioning if this should be their mode of transportation. Next on the Suspense Files, the bus stop murders when tragedy strikes public transportation, plus party bus nightmares. Oh, what a joy it is to be able to get your nails done on any given day or for a special occasion while maintaining a healthy nail care lifestyle. Having the choice to do your nails at home or book an appointment at the salon is a vibe. Then being faced with that daunting task of picking out the right color and making sure you have the right set can be a challenge, but we're able to get it done every single time. And that manicure is much needed. However, have you stopped to consider, what are they putting on my nail beds? What is this chemical? Next, on the hair appointment, 911. After the nail appointment, allergic reactions and infections. Plus, how long is too long? Guinness Book World Records. Available on demand now. When it comes to urban crime, there are a set of questions that must be asked in order to find out what happened. And on the Suspense Files, we're covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, focusing on betrayal, obsession, cold cases, stalking, love triangles, and more. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. You are currently listening to Poison, Deadly, Moving in Slow. Red Flags on the Play. Athletic Caruth Syndrome. A cautionary tale on the Suspense Files, covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crimes. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Thank you for adding us to your podcast shuffle and for letting us be the flavor in your ear. The flavor in your ear. You feel me? Thank you. Welcome back. You're tuned in. We're about to get into this excellent episode. Did you all enjoy the last two episodes? I'm going to stay on topic, but I hope you had a good laugh, especially with the nail appointment. I'm here for you all. We're going to go ahead and play these clips once again. Have to say it for fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976. These are specifically for educational purposes only, to raise awareness about the dysfunction in relationships, how some people are not ready for engaging in sex at all, how when you're desperate and not in your right mind, you can create a deadly disaster. Let's get into it. And you already know, have to stop these clips just to make sure that we're practicing the guidelines. Let's do it. 2 parts to this story. 2 parts. So I'm going to save the Ray Caruth part for the end and focus on the most current event. And you'll see how we are going to piece this together. You're a wonderful, wise listening audience, whether you're at work right now, traveling, if you're in your truck, crossing the country, If you're exercising, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, I thank you for tuning in.
A stunning double murder case involving a college football coach who's a former member of the Titans staff.
Blaze Taylor is accused of poisoning 25-year-old Jade Benning. She died along with her unborn child. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry looks at the sudden developments in a story that began a year ago.
Seems Blaze Taylor, the junior, shows his speed as he's all the way through.
On paper and on the field, Blaze Taylor was a star athlete with numerous accolades. His football career started at Auburn High School in Alabama, and he later starred at Arkansas State University, serving as a team captain for 4 seasons.
We can go 2, 3, 4, 5 games without even touching the football. So if we touch it, we try to get it and we try to score every single time. And that's because we say we don't know when it's the next time we're going to have that opportunity.
After leaving Arkansas State, he went on to work as a defense coach at Duke University before spending 4 years as a scout for the Tennessee Titans, leaving them in 2023. In March of that same year, Taylor visited his girlfriend, Jade Benning, at her apartment and allegedly poisoned her. She was pregnant at the time, and investigators say the poisoning led to the death of her 5-month-old unborn child on February 27th of 2023.
Casual day, unsuspecting, covert in your moves, and next thing you know, the plan that you have been plotting, you execute and it happens. Unsuspecting, that's the part that makes it a deadly disaster, because when you are vulnerable, when you have let your guard down, when you trust this person and you know this is the father of my child, we're in love, you're unsuspecting of it. Okay? Now this is facts. You're just unsuspecting. And to be in a situation where your person is coming over to your house and they have on their mind to poison you, they don't care about the child at all. They want to remedy the situation in an unrighteous way, and they feel like the way that they can do it is poisoning, which means that there had to be some premeditation to this, obviously, to look up what is the best way to murder someone without it being detected. How can I pull this off and still be Blaze? How can I still be this guy who I am, this pro athlete, this scout, this person on the field who people cheer for? How can I unsuspectingly murder my girl and our baby? Now, to you, the listening audience, you know that just makes no wisdom. That's not righteous. You're not in your sound mind. That is demonic activity. That is darkness. It is peril. It is not knowing what to do and not being ready for it, but participating in an act that you know will produce it. That's what we call negligence. Reckless penal homicide, where you are all for the act, but you're not for what comes with unprotected sex and ejaculating inside of a woman. It baffles me, the disconnection between what occurs from the act. When you are attempting to rid somebody from your life and you choose poison, there are different methods of poisons that one can take. And most of the time, when someone wants to poison somebody, they do it in small doses, unsuspecting doses. But these doses with time create illnesses or sudden death. And the different symptoms that occur from being poisoned. Oh my goodness. Hair falling out, jaundice. They become jaundice, which is yellowing of the skin. teeth falling out, sunken eyes, can't eat, passing out, dizziness, migraines, extreme weight loss, consistent vomiting, diarrhea, and the doctors just can't put their finger on it because it's in small doses. And sometimes they will use something that is tasteless, like coolant, and inject that into a sports drink. Now, this is not for anybody to then take it and do. My listening audience, we don't play those games. But you need to be cognizant of the drink offering, cognizant of the food offering, and not ever be so hungry, so thirsty, okay, so trusting that you'll just take the glass and drink, that you'll just take the food and eat, that you will always keep your head on the swivel in any relationship, whether it be family, friend, or foe. And especially in a relationship with your man, your woman. Let's get into it.
Benning died 9 days later at Vanderbilt Medical Center. It was her 25th birthday.
That was Caitlin Quisenberry reporting. Police say Blaze Taylor is the one who called 911 on the night of February 25th of 2023. He told dispatchers that Benning started to seem like she was having an allergic reaction and asked for paramedics. U.S. Marshals arrested him near Salt Lake City.
I am going to hurt you, harm you, and then I'm going to pick up the phone and call 911 because now I feel like doing the right thing, even though I'm the one who caused the wrong thing. Not in his right mind. Demonic possession is real. And when you have made up in your mind, when you have premeditated murder, I mean, you cannot expect one's moral compass to even be in effect. Is there even a moral compass? He picked up the phone, called 911, and said that she seemed to be having an allergic reaction. Really? Quite possibly to whatever you gave her. What did he give her? I am waiting to find out exactly what the poison is. Trust me, I am keeping my eyes to news breaks concerning this case because I am so interested in what it was the dosage, and what was the liquid or that he gave her to kill her and her child. 9 days later, at the age of 25. You know, you get a phone number, you get, somebody, you're interested in somebody, and you're talking and you're vibing, and it's just so, that love bombing is dangerous. I mean, let's just look at the word bomb. We all know what a bomb does. And that love bombing can have you hooked, baited, lured in, guard down, unsuspecting, because you're so happy to be here. You are so excited that you have company, a man, a football player, a pro athlete, a man of status, caliber. That wisdom doesn't even have a chance to permeate your mind and give you some speed bumps in your thought processes so you won't just be flying down the street in this relationship without caution. So you won't be running stop signs and red lights and hitting potholes. So you won't get into an accident.
Had recently worked on the staff of the Utah State football team. He will be extradited back to Nashville.
He was once an Olympic boxer. Now he's behind bars, accused of killing his pregnant girlfriend. 27-year-old Felix Verdejo Sanchez is charged with kidnapping and carjacking, resulting in the death of Keishla Rodriguez Ortiz, according to the Department of Justice. Rodriguez's body was discovered in a lagoon near San Juan, Puerto Rico, 2 days after she was reported missing. Her mother told local media that her daughter was pregnant with Verdejo's child. He is also charged with killing the unborn child.
The family is distraught over their loss.
Los abusadores que son, eso no se hace, abusadores. Ay, a mí necesito. Abusadores, los dos van a pagar ellos y todo el que esté incluido también por abusadores que son.
Verdejo is reportedly married to another woman with whom he also has a daughter. Verdejo was known as El Diamante, or the Diamond, and competed in the 2012 London Olympics. Reports say Felix Verdejo Sanchez turned himself in the day after Rodriguez's body was found, and he is being held without bond. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
You heard the pain and the anguish in her mother's voice. And it's the violence. It is the unrighteous dedication to rid yourself of this problem. And for the last thing for a woman to see as she is being murdered is the man who she laid with. Her child's father is the last face she sees as he is killing her. That's got to be a lot to process in a short amount of time. And then the audacity to try to dictate somebody's time with your disregard for their life. To literally ghost them. Because you don't want the child. You don't want the responsibility. You don't want the look. Might have a wife. Might have a, it's like you have, not all the time, but sometimes they have a wife and they don't want the wife to find out. So in order to make it all go away, this is what they feel is the only option. Facing a consequence or facing a decision is not really always the option. It's always in the unrighteous mind better to just make an unrighteous decision that in the end ends up getting them caught up as well. But once again, that's your baby. That's your child as well. You were carrying that child before she was. How come you didn't take yourself out? Did you? What? Wait a minute, Sister Speak. Let's just keep it a buck. The child was in your testicles before the child was in her womb. Why didn't you kill yourself? And I'm not promoting it. Just hear what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't you take yourself out, though? Why did you neglect to harm yourself? See, that's what you call just selfishness. Once again, I'm not condoning suicide. Hear me. I think y'all know what I'm saying when I say what I say. You had the child first. And it's like I said, it's this whole thing. I don't want to use a condom. I'm a pull out, or are you on the pill? We are so fucked off when it comes to understanding intimacy, sex, what we're supposed to do, the education behind it, the purpose behind it, how we're supposed to move, we are off. We have no regard for what it means. Such a beautiful, beautiful act given to us by the Most High God. We have perverted it. We don't care about it. We are so reckless. Some of us are just so reckless with our bodies that we just don't care about the consequences. And then when the consequences come, we care. And then we do the most disrespectful, disastrous thing to rid or remedy the situation. It's like suddenly there's a wake-up call and an urgency to fix it so you can go on being how you are. This is going to cause a speed bump in my life. This is not a good look for me. This is going to cause me to have issues, this, that, and the third. So I just got to get rid of it. Versus just not just whoring ourselves out into these situations. The spirit of lust is so real. It is so cantankerous and so gripping that it really creates a lot of issues that cause some people to panic. And so far, listening to these pro athletes, you can hear the red flags on the play. You can hear it. You have to search for your daughter. Don't know where she is. Find your child. Know exactly who murdered her. And not only is your child gone, but now your grandchild as well. We really don't know how to interact with one another. Some of us we are off when it comes to our interactions. Off.
Top NFL prospect La'el Collins has more to worry about than just his draft stock. His ex-girlfriend was murdered last week, and police want to talk to him about it. I'm 48 Hours Crime Cider's Michelle Sagona. Last Friday night, Baton Rouge police found 29-year-old Brittany Mills shot to death inside her apartment. Police say it's likely that she knew the person who killed her. Mills was 9 months pregnant at the time. They rushed her to the hospital where doctors delivered a baby boy who's luckily expected to survive. Police say Mills was romantically connected at some point to 21-year-old Collins, who played 4 seasons at LSU. He's currently in Chicago for the NFL draft and is expected to be picked in the first round. I spoke with Lieutenant Johnny Dunham with the Baton Rouge Police Department earlier, and he confirmed that Collins is not a suspect in the murder, but he is one of many people police want to question in person about the case. Currently, they are working with Collins' attorneys to schedule an interview for after the NFL draft. Collins has reportedly hired a prominent defense attorney from Baton Rouge who specializes in murder cases. His name is Jim Boren. Boren has spoken out to a number of media outlets about his client, saying that Collins was nowhere near the home when Mills was murdered. At this point, it is unclear if Collins...
Of course not. In a potential alleged murder for hire plot, of course he wasn't. Of course he has an alibi. Of course he's nowhere within the vicinity. But you know who might be? Somebody who needs that money real bad, that hitman, the one who's willing to do whatever because he doesn't give a damn about life, the one who's all about his money, the one who's all about chasing the bag, the hitter, the stepper, the one who has no regard for mother, father, child, nobody. Anybody can get the bullet. Bag on the head, job done. All you have to do is just find somebody in a certain area who just doesn't give a damn about life, who is possessed with the spirit of murder, wickedness, who sees hate, who is dark, who's always on demon time, amped up, listening to fucked off music. Yes, it's easy to find somebody who doesn't care. So it's just strange that she's pregnant 9 months and suddenly she's been shot. We all praises that the baby survived. I just find it very interesting that she was shot. And how far some organizations are willing to go to protect, bullshit, cover up things that should be exposed. Oh, the politics are real. But I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm willing to be wrong, that this might be a murder for hire. An alibi is something that some people will build because they don't want to get caught. It's the who, what, when, where, why in urban crimes, the alibi. Does it add up? Is it verified? Let's dive deeper into it. See, the last thing that a suspect or a potential suspect wants any homicide detective to do is to dive deeper into it. They want them to turn their head the other way. They want them to be lazy and not on the case. They want them to look the other way and not pay attention to detail. But then that really wouldn't make you a good detective now, would it? If you don't get down into the who, what, when, where, why, in it, and the how, if you don't get into it, then that makes you lazy. That's how cold cases build sometimes. But if the detectives decide to dive deep into it, they might find a connection or three. And they might have to, swing around the block one more time, you know what I mean? Spin the block and pick him up for some questioning. Yeah, the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. You better know it.
Collins is the father of Mills's newborn baby. Investigators say they would like to figure that out as well and determine the last time he spoke with Mills. You can continue to track this case on our website. And for 48 Hours Crime-Cider, I'm Michelle Sagona.
First at 11, arrested and dismissed. The Miami Dolphins moving fast to cut Mark Walton after he's accused of punching a woman. Police say the victim is pregnant.
Tonight, Mark Walton is in jail. He'll have a bond hearing tomorrow. CBS 4's Ty Russell is live in Davie, where police arrested the now former Miami Dolphin this morning. Ty?
And Ellie and Rudame, I've been talking to neighbors throughout the day and night, and they told me Mark Walton has only lived in this Davie neighborhood for roughly 2 to 3 months, and now he will not be returning home, at least not tonight. Former Miami Dolphins running back Mark Walton will face a judge Wednesday. He's accused of punching his pregnant girlfriend in the head and leaving her with a swollen eye at his Davie home early Tuesday morning. After the arrest, his neighbor is concerned for the victim and people in the area.
Safety for the family, safety for the different neighbors.
He's also saddened to hear his neighbor going through more trouble on and off the field.
It's more often than what we would like to hear.
Walton had already been suspended without pay for 4 games for violating the NFL's conduct and substance abuse policy. Tuesday, the Miami Dolphins cut Walton from the team, and they released a statement saying, in part, "We were made aware of a police matter earlier this morning regarding Mark Walton. We hold our players to a high standard and take these matters very seriously."
I'm hoping that we can deal with these charges and he can sign with either the Dolphins or another team in the future.
Michael Gottlieb is Walton's attorney.
I expect that he'll get bond. He's never fled in the past. Bond is typically whether or not you're a danger to the community or a flight risk, and I don't think he's either.
This isn't the first time he has defended the athlete in court. This is Walton's 4th arrest in less than a year. Miami-Dade court records show his previous possession of cannabis and battery charges were dropped, and adjudication was withheld for an open carry weapon charge, along with reckless driving and resisting an officer. And because of the nature of the domestic violence charge, Walton will have to stay in jail overnight, and he will face a judge tomorrow. Now, if convicted on this, he could face up to 15 years in prison. We are live in...
Just a tip to my sisters who are interested in being in a relationship with a professional athlete. If your man gets cut from the team, you need to leave the house. I know normally I would say encourage your man, be there for your man. No. Give him time to cool off. I would advise any woman, when your man is enraged, he's mad or whatever, you need to disappear. And not because he made you disappear. You need to abracadabra your ass on somewhere else. Go to your mama and them house, but you need to duck off. Because the last thing you want to be is the punching bag. Here it is, he's a football player, but you're being punched. Now he's a boxing champion. You don't want to be the punching bag. You don't want to be the one in the way of the rage. You can't stop it. Once they blank out, that's it. Once everything goes black, that's it. And trouble on the field, trouble off the field, just trouble. What are you doing there, sis? You thought that you could change him? You thought you could be the one to give him hope? You thought you were going to be the one to make a difference? You didn't want to have anybody come in and take your place. See, sometimes sisters don't want to let go because they don't want somebody to come in and take their place. But how do you explain the demons? Because they're there and they've taken place. Football players deal with a lot. That is a high, intense man's sport. And I understand you see some good looking men, you know, bodies looking okay, most of them, face looking pretty cool. See the car, see the jewelry, see the flashiness, see the status, see the vibe. You want it. And you don't want to let it go once you get a taste of it. But when a man is caught up with his own demons, you have to let that man get to the tomb so the Most High God can deal with them. There's nothing you can do. Now, I know there are a lot of fans of football and so forth, but these are the reality of the sport. It's what's going on off the field that matters as well. You can quote stats all you want to. You can have conversations about who's the best team, who's the best running back, quarterback, linebacker, defensive, all of that. You can talk, you can have your own first take with you and your homeboys all you want to, but are you all sitting around and talking about what's going on off the field? Or do you even care, brothers? Because I know some of y'all listening. Do you even care? Or are you so busy worried about your team and if you bet enough money and who got drafted in the first round and the second round and this and that and who got cut? Or are you thinking about, since you're worried about who got cut, what about the girlfriend who got stabbed or punched or poisoned or is disappeared? Is he still your favorite player? After you hear these things, though, are you willing to turn a blind eye and say, yeah, you know? See, because I don't really like the yeah, you know type energy. Because if you're going to make an excuse for the demon time, then I'm going to really have to pay attention to you because you might be next on the news clip or you have the potential to spaz out if there's something coming up that you don't like that could possibly hinder you from your fame or how you wiggle and move about town. Some of your favorite players are evil in their relationships, beating their girlfriends left and right, murdering their children. How do you all feel about that, though?
I'm Ty Russell, CBS 4 News Tonight.
The Harris County DA's office says former San Francisco 49ers tight end Kevin Ware Jr. has been charged for murder and tampering with evidence, specifically the corpse of his girlfriend, then 29-year-old Taylor Pomansky. Investigators say Pomansky was last seen on April 25th of last year at a party at her home. Officials called the circumstances suspicious and said she may have been a victim of foul play. Ware was initially questioned but not charged then. He was later arrested, though, in June last year for violating bond conditions on previous charges and then listed as a suspect for this case. Texas EcuSearch spent hundreds of hours searching along several wooded areas along FM 2920. In December of 2021, Pomansky's remains were found.
Thanks for watching our YouTube.
player, practice squad player who lives in Georgia, is charged with killing his girlfriend here in Maryland.
It allegedly happened inside the victim's parents' home in Prince George's County. Carl Carney Jr., who was briefly associated with the New York Jets and then became a renowned high school coach, turned himself into police on Saturday morning.
Right now, our Scott Broom picks up the story with reactions from people in 2 states.
It was 9:20 Saturday morning when 43-year-old ex-New York Jet Carl Carney Jr. came here to the Prince George's County District 5 police station in Clinton and announced he just strangled his girlfriend. The murder happened in this home on St. James Court in Accokeek. Property records show the home is owned by the parents of the victim. Police say she was 38-year-old Patrina Best. Public records show Best was a licensed nurse in several states, and social profiles say she's a traveling operating room nurse who went to Georgia Southern University, where Carney also played football. Shocked neighbors who declined to be interviewed on camera said Best's parents are not in the area and the younger couple were visiting the home while her parents were away. According to a 2021 tweet from Spalding High School in Griffin, Georgia, outside Atlanta, Carney is an award-winning high school football coach known in his community for inspirational support of struggling students. WXIA Television in Atlanta spoke with former students and parents who are stunned by the murder allegation in Maryland.
I don't want to believe that this is truly happening right now. It was just such a shocker to me. I know sometimes bad things do happen to good people. It was just very heartbreaking.
Carney spent brief periods with the New York Jets during 2 preseasons, but never made an active regular season roster, according to Sports Illustrated. Police here in Prince George's County say Carney confessed to strangling the victim during an argument. He's charged with first and second degree murder, and he's in jail here in Prince George's County. Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
New developments in the case of the high school cheerleader, 6 months pregnant, discovered dead. Tonight, a high school football player has now been arraigned, and ABC's Alex Perez is in Indiana.
17-year-old Brianna Ruslang was a high school cheerleader who dreamed about going to college. But tonight, those dreams cut short. Indiana authorities say her boyfriend brutally murdered her. Brianna's father and stepmother tonight living a nightmare.
We're just in shock. We're in disbelief that this is going on.
Investigators say her boyfriend, 16-year-old Aaron Trejo, confessed to stabbing Brianna Saturday night after learning she was 6 months pregnant with his child. Too late for her to get an abortion.
Brianna Rusling, 17 years old, female, white, was last seen around 11 p.m.
According to court documents, Trejo, a football player at the high school, told authorities he planned the killing for a week, telling investigators, "I took action, I took her life," throwing Brianna's body in a restaurant dumpster. Her family says Brianna loved basketball and wanted to be an athletic trainer.
She was the nicest, sweetest, most innocent girl you'd ever meet.
Trejo is charged with murdering Brianna and her unborn baby. He pleaded not guilty in court today and is due back for another hearing next week. David?
Alex Perez. Alex, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Former professional basketball player and his ex-girlfriend are accused of the murder and kidnapping of a 23-year-old Washington woman. Marina Rogers' body was found in the Nevada desert on December 15th after they went missing for a week. Jail records show one of the suspects, former Stockton Kings player Chance Comanche, appeared in Sacramento County Court on Tuesday.
Basketball star weeps as he's taken to jail, charged with murder. It's raw emotion as the University of Alabama's Darius Miles shouts to his mom. The 21-year-old star is charged with fatally shooting a 23-year-old woman, Jamea Harris, near the university campus.
Darius Miles allegedly tried to flirt with the victim as she sat in a parked car with her boyfriend and a cousin. One eyewitness says when she refused to talk to him, he persisted, telling her, "Don't you know who I am?" Then things turned ugly and a gun battle erupted.
A Ring camera captured the chilling sound of gunfire and 2 bystanders fleeing for their lives. I spoke spoke with the victim's mom, who said she still hasn't broken the news to her daughter's 5-year-old child.
I know at some point he's going to want to know where his mom is. And when that time comes, I just don't know how I explain it.
Crimson Tide basketball coach Nate Oates says the whole team is grieving.
I've got 3 daughters. Went through my mind how easily could have been one of mine. Tough situation. I talked to Darius's mother multiple times yesterday. Very hard situation on both accounts.
But the victim's mom says she's outraged by the accused killer's display of emotion.
It just enraged me that he could cry to his mother after he took another person's life.
Darius Miles' attorney says his client maintains his innocence and looks forward to his day in court.
Yes, I have an accident. I have an accident on Highway 90.
It's a frantic call to 911.
I need service, please. Someone's been hit.
On the phone is Chris Smith, a defensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns. Smith and his girlfriend were driving on a highway in Ohio when his Lamborghini blew a tire and crashed into the median. Smith and his girlfriend, Tatara Cordero, got out of the car. Moments later, she was hit by an oncoming car and killed. Just 4 weeks ago, they had welcomed a baby girl named Haven. Sideswipe accidents are becoming way too common on our nation's highways. Dashcam videos capture how scary it can be. Police officers are especially vulnerable. This cop miraculously survived, but not everyone is as lucky. It's estimated there are about 250,000 sideswipe accidents in the United States every year. 2,500 of those are fatal. So what can you do to stay safe if you find yourself stuck on the side of a highway? I spoke with AAA safety expert Robert Sinclair. This woman exited her vehicle, and that's when she was struck. Should you get out of your car?
In the situation that she was in, which is a very peculiar one, you should not. The vehicle was broken down in a lane of moving traffic. In that case, you want to stay in the vehicle. You've got the protection of all the vehicle systems, the metal, the steel around you to protect you.
In an instance where you can pull over safely, it's okay to get out of the car.
That's the best thing. Safely on the shoulder, away from the moving lanes of traffic.
Advice that Smith and his girlfriend could have found useful before disaster struck.
Now, police say that former pro baseball player Charlie Hager, who was wanted in the shooting death of his ex-girlfriend, has been found dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The 37-year-old played for the Dodgers in 2010. He also spent time with the White Sox and the Padres. Police say Hager's body was discovered on a trail along the south rim of the Grand Canyon.
A gruesome murder plot police say involves a former NBA G League player and his ex-girlfriend. Well, 27-year-old Chance Comanche and 19-year-old Sakari Harnden are accused of killing 23-year-old Mariana Rogers, covering her body with rocks and leaving it in a roadside ditch in Henderson. Jaewon Jung joining us in studio tonight with information about this case. Jaewon.
Joe, a Rolex watch and a third person played roles in this complicated murder scheme. That's according to testimony from a Metro homicide detective appearing before a Clark County grand jury. Detective Aaron Jenkins says a basketball friend of Comanche helped strategize the murder. Jenkins testified Comanche's friend, Travion Carter, backed out of the murder plot at some point, but told the grand jury Comanche and Harnden carried out the crime. He also testified Comanche told police the killing was over Harnden's Rolex watch that the victim, Marina Rogers, wanted. He told jurors Comanche claimed the victim threatened to shoot his ex-girlfriend Harnden if she didn't give her that Rolex. Evidence shown to the grand jury included text messages between Harnden and Comanche, which police say show them conspiring to kill Rogers. One text reading, quote, "So we finna just take her there and then you finna strangle her." Both Rogers and Harnden were prostitutes. Jenkins says Comanche told him during an interview he posed as a client pretending to be into kinky sex as an excuse to use zip ties on the victim. Surveillance videos were also shown to the grand jury, which police say detail the timeline of events. In the first video, you can see Harnden and Rogers at a liquor store hours before the murder. The owner of the liquor store testified this was after 1 in the morning of December 6th. The second video shows Rogers and Comanche at Winco at around 5:30 in the morning. Another Metro detective testified this was shortly after Rogers' murder. Comanche's friend, Travion Carter, currently does not face any charges related to Rogers' murder. Harnden and Comanche were in court this morning for arraignment. Proceeding delayed because the case is under death penalty review, according to prosecutors. The pair is scheduled to be back in court March 28th. Live in the studio, I'm Jay-Won Jung.
Ray Caruth may be free, but his battle to return to a normal life is, to put it mildly, far from over. We want to get
Women think they're stepping in the name of love when they're actually stepping in the name of danger. Meeting a man who says all the right things, doing all the right things, masquerading as an angel of light, wanting access into the home, ready to be a father figure to your children because you're vulnerable, you're weak, you're desperate. He's charming. He's good at what he does. His past, you don't care about that because you're ready for your Mr. Right, even though he is Mr. Wrong. And things got different when he moved inside of the house. And he's not leaving anytime soon. Next on the Suspense Files, the step-boyfriend father. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Being able to pull back your sexual energy and have self-control in an area where you once didn't is an accomplishment. Being able to be focused because you are tired of the old you. Tired of the crying, tired of being disappointed, tired of being a part of the hit it and quit it, tired of the one-night stands, tired of being told that they love you when they really don't. They just wanted your sexual energy. You're also tired of telling people, no, you're not coming over and you will not be a booty call. You're serious about your celibacy. The feelings come and they go. Sometimes you're tempted and sometimes you're not. The overall objective is to remain celibate, but there are some people who don't care about your celibacy. Next on the vent session, pressed for pleasure. When your celibacy is tested, the dangers of being on demon time. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. The last thing that anybody has time for is to get sick. Nobody wants to be man or woman down, but this rash, the itching, the vomiting, the fatigue, you and your partner know that something is wrong. This is going to require a trip to the ER. You're about to find out that you are a part of the statistics. There is an outbreak, and you and your reckless decisions have caused you to put your life on the line. I know you want to turn back the hands of time because you did not envision your life ending up like this. Next on the culture climate, syphilis, the outbreak. From pleasure to prescription to peril. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. You made up in your mind that once you got to Hollywood, nothing was going to stop you. You were going to be famous and you were going to get a star on the Walk of Fame. You were willing to do whatever it takes to get your record deal, even if it means exploiting your God-given talents, even if it means hanging out late night with the who's who. Some people don't even have talent, but they're willing to do whatever it takes to get on. And many find out what the D in record deal really stands for. Next on the tour, Surviving the Producer's Proposition. The Sister Speak Show wants to be with you on the go. It's simple. Just add us to your podcast shuffle so we can be the flavor in your ear. You'll be glad that you did. We are rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas, but I know you know that already. Thank you in advance for downloading and for being a wonderful listening audience. Welcome back. You are listening to the Suspense Files covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. This episode, poison, deadly, moving, and slow, red flags on the play. Athletic Caruth Syndrome, a cautionary tale. So, you heard those clips about professional athletes panicking and going to the extreme to try to fix something that they don't want to be a part of their life. Not wanting to be a father, not being able to control their tempers, and using their girlfriends as punching bags, and putting some of their girlfriends in body bags, along with their children. It is a cautionary tale about being careful who you idolize, being careful who you just have to rub shoulders with. It's about, are you really ready to be a groupie? Can you handle all what comes with the lifestyle? Are you so desperate to have a man of that status that you're willing to endure all of the trauma, drama, and danger behind the scenes? Are you able to tell what happens after the touchdown and how your body touched down to the ground after he came home from a game? Because the coach didn't put him in the game. Or are you trying to trap a man? Are you getting pregnant so you can get the money, so you can get the child support, so you can live a lifestyle that maybe wasn't written for you to live? Are you in it specifically for the check? Are you willing to slut yourself out, whore yourself out, just so you can get pregnant, just so you can trap him? You want that Birkin bag that bad. The 2-story penthouse, the luxury car, the luxury look. You want to post for the gram, and you really don't give a damn about your kid either. It's a two-way street. I know you just didn't think that I was just going to stick to that. We have to bring it all out. There are several ingredients that make this fuckery be fuckery. And you have to look at all angles and perspectives as to how did these two people come together? What were the intentions? What were the said intentions and the hidden intentions? Because let me explain something to you about a hidden intention. And you do hear the dogs in the background, perhaps. It is what it is. Let me tell you about a hidden intention, though. Those are the deadly ones. Because it's one thing for me to show you some intentions, but what I'm premeditating on, what I'm really here for, that's dangerous. It's what I'm not saying. It's what I'm thinking. It's what I'm really going to do. It's what I'm really planning on doing. It's how I really feel about what you told me. Yeah, I'm smiling, but in the back of my mind, I'm enraged at what you just told me. Did he tell you he didn't want a child? Did you tell him you were on birth control? Condom, what, don't even want to use a condom because it doesn't feel good, right? You know, you can feel it better if you don't use a condom, right? So you try to pull out and spill your seed on her, and some of it still got in her anyway. So your pull-out game really, pull-out game might be reflective of your actual game on the field. Don't know. The entanglement it has different angles. The hidden intentions is what we're talking about on the who, what, when, where, why of the suspense files. The hidden intentions. The athletic Caruth syndrome is a syndrome that occurs when a professional athlete panics at the news of becoming a father. His mind immediately goes into panic mode because the thought of child support being slowed down, not being as accessible to the fame package that comes with their professionalism, the threat of it, they don't want to be gotten. And so when this syndrome occurs, death is not too far behind. A nasty murder plot is not too far behind. They get to Googling, looking at ways to remedy the situation. The goal is you're not going to have the baby. I'm not going to be the father. I'm not taking care of this child. I'm not paying you child support. This is not going to happen, and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't happen. The athletic Caruth syndrome. I am going to find some of the nastiest, most demonic people I can find to help me get rid of you. I'm going to do a murder for hire. I'm going to take it to that level. It's going to be violent. I don't give a fuck about you or the kid. I only give a fuck about me. I am Rae Carruth. I am said player. Don't you know who I am? Don't you know what I do? You're not finna slow me down. You're going to get a hold of me. I don't take care of children. I just make them. That's not what I do. I'm not responsible. No, I'm only loyal to the team. I'm not going to be loyal to you. I'm not going to be loyal to my child. I don't care. And so they go into the trenches of their soul. And they have a meeting in the sewer of their soul, producing a thought to eliminate the pregnant girlfriend and the child. It is called the process of elimination. And what is the best process to eliminate this imaginary problem? Oh, it's dangerous, the athletic Caruth syndrome. And you see that it is prevalent to this very day with the first news clip that we played with Mr. Blaze. Poisoned his girlfriend. Baby died. She died. That's it. That's it. But they never think about the fact that they're going to get caught, apprehended, wanted, a suspect. All of the details, the fingers beginning to point at them. Some of them even go on the run like Mr. Caruth did. Let's get into it, a refresher course on the athletic Caruth syndrome.
Former NFL player Rae Carruth breaking his silence, speaking out from behind bars, apologizing for his role in the 1999 murder of his then pregnant girlfriend. ABC's Gio Benitez is here with more. And Gio, Rae also says he wants to be part of their son's life when he's released.
Yeah, that's right, Robin. He does. Caruth will be released in just months, and he wants custody of his son, the son who was almost killed in the shooting that Caruth planned, the shooting that killed the boy's mother.
Touchdown, Rae Carruth!
He was a star on the football field playing for the Carolina Panthers, but that all changed in 1999 when Rae Carruth was arrested in connection with the murder of his pregnant girlfriend. Police say he hired someone to shoot Sharika Adams. He was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, spending the past 17 years behind bars. His unborn son survived the shooting, delivered prematurely with cerebral palsy. Scheduled to be released this fall, Caruth is now speaking out from behind bars, taking responsibility for the crime and expressing desire to help take care of his son. The young man was raised by his grandmother. Caruth spoke with WBTV by phone.
I'm apologizing for the loss of her daughter. I'm apologizing for the impairment of my son. I feel responsible for everything that happened, and I just want her to know that truly I am sorry for everything.
In a letter sent from prison, he praises the grandmother for taking care of the son, while also accusing her of lying about him in interviews, something she denies. But he blames himself, writing, "If I could change anything, I'd change the whole situation. His mother would still be here, and I wouldn't be where I'm at. I want the incident to never have happened at all." The grandmother, speaking to ABC station WSOC, says it's the first time she's heard an apology from him and wants her grandson to have a relationship with his father.
I am not trying to mislead anybody to think that Rae is going to come and pick Chancellor up for the summers and take him out to California and come over and get him every week and be daddy. That's not what I mean about relationship. I do want Chancellor to meet him.
And Carruth is expected to walk out of prison in October. The grandmother says he lost his parental rights the moment that he was found guilty. And we should say the grandmother and grandson, they now go around to schools and they talk about domestic violence. So they're doing a really good thing.
Yeah, I saw that in the video right there. Yeah, they've turned this whole mess into something positive as you know,
as best you can.
As best as they could.
That's right.
All right, thank you, Gio.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
According to court testimony, Carruth told Adams that he wanted to spend the night at her house, and they began driving there in separate vehicles. Carruth in front and Adams behind, with Kennedy trailing Adams. As the three cars traveled along Rhea Road in Charlotte, they came to a section where the road dipped just prior to McAndrew Drive. It was there that the deed was carried out. Carruth and Kennedy boxed Sharika in, and Watkins opened fire. Here's the audio of the 911 call from Sharika.
911, I've been shot. You've been shot? Where are you at? I'm 8 months pregnant.
How did this happen?
I was following my baby daddy, Ray Carruth, the football player.
Where's he at?
In the car in front of me, and he slowed down, and somebody pulled up beside me and did this.
And then where'd he go?
He didn't rap. I think he did it. I don't know what to think of.
According to court testimony,
Tonight, for the first time in almost 20 years.
I know that last video you all heard clapping and there was no sounds. I just want you to know that it was somebody clapping at him coming out of prison and nothing else. I know that was really weird and random, and that clapping was somebody clapping their hands because he was coming out and nothing else. It's just, okay.
Former Carolina Panther Ray Carruth is a free man. Carruth walked out of Sampson Correctional Facility at 8:02 this morning, got into a white Chevy Tahoe, and sped off. It is the first time in about 2 decades he won't spend the night in Clinton, North Carolina. Hello, everyone, and thank you for staying with us. I'm Fred Shropshire.
And I'm Sarah French. Carruth was found guilty in a murder plot involving the mother of his child, convicted of hiring a hitman to kill his girlfriend, Sharika Adams, while she was pregnant, 25 years old during the time, now starting his life over at the age of 44.
NBC Charlotte's Evan West is live at 5. Evan, while we don't know Carruth's exact location, we are piecing together what life after prison will be like for him, aren't we?
We are, Fred, and it was such a quick release from prison. You know, Ray Carruth, known for his speed on the football field, but the driver of his getaway Tahoe this morning, kind of translating that speed into the car. We actually heard the tires screech. He pulled out of the prison driveway so fast, although we don't know where Ray is going or how fast he gets there. It doesn't matter because we all know that he will not be able to outrun his past. Wearing a full smile behind the barbed wire fence, Ray Carruth's walk to freedom was short and simple, unlike the days leading up to his conviction.
About 30, 40 seconds later, she passed away.
The former Carolina Panthers trial turned the eyes of America toward Charlotte.
I said, well, that's going to kill him. And Ray said, well, killing it.
It was history in the making, as Carruth was the first ever active NFL player to be charged with first-degree murder. He was arrested on Thanksgiving Day in 1999, found in the trunk of a Toyota Camry in western Tennessee. It's been nearly 19 years since we've gotten a glimpse of Carruth as a free man until today. Sandra Adams, who has raised Chancellor, Sharika and Carruth's son, hinted at the possibility of showing up to Ray's release, but the grandmother was nowhere in sight. Still, she and Chancellor have been outspoken advocates for domestic violence awareness.
A lot of times people say, why me? Why me? Why did this happen? I feel so blessed to have Lee, Chancellor, in my life.
Now Ray Carruth has a second chance as a free man. He is out on probation, not parole, 9 months of probation, and with his probation officer's consent, he will be allowed to travel anywhere within the country. And his former defense attorney does tell us that he believes that Ray will live out of state. Reporting live in Clinton, North Carolina, I'm Evan West for NBC Charlotte.
Okay, Evan, thank you.
In the Carolinas now, in Charlotte, the trigger man in the plot to kill the girlfriend of former Carolina Panthers player Ray Carruth has now died in prison. Van Brett Watkins was sentenced to more than 50 years behind bars for shooting Sharika Adams. She was pregnant with Carruth's child. In 1999, when he plotted to have her killed, her son was born by emergency C-section with disabilities and was raised by Adams' mother. Watkins passed away in prison last Sunday, and officials confirmed that he died of natural causes. Sharika Adams' mother reacting to the news of his death.
It's no coincidence to me that he passed away 24 years in December after he had taken my daughter's life at 24 years. And that Chancellor is now 24 years.
According to Sandra Adams, Watkins reached out to her expressing remorse for the murder and had even asked her to come visit him. Carruth was released from prison in 2018.
From professional football player to convicted felon to soon-to-be free man in just more than 48 hours, former Panther wide receiver Ray Carruth will get released from prison.
He's currently serving an 18-year sentence for orchestrating a plot to kill his pregnant girlfriend.
Prosecutors alleged it was all to avoid paying child support. On Monday, he'll walk out of the doors of the Sampson Correctional Facility and start his new life.
NBC Charlotte's Evan West joins us from Clinton, North Carolina, where Carruth has been since 2001. Evan?
There are so many layers to this story, with the next chapter about to unfold in the next 48 hours whenever Ray Carruth walks out of that prison as a free man. He has served his time, but whenever he's released, he will still have plenty of questions to answer. 3 men, 1 NFL wide receiver, and a pregnant girlfriend. The Ray Carruth murder trial had it all: money, sex, drugs, and celebrities. Carruth was the first active NFL player ever charged with first-degree murder.
Ray, you got anything to say about Sharika?
He was arrested Thanksgiving Day 1999 and sent here to Central Prison in Raleigh, where he slept on a top bunk with a Bible, one of the few things he was able to take.
I didn't shoot nobody, sir.
Known drug dealer Michael Kennedy was the man who claimed Carruth paid him to buy the gun used in the killing. He was driving the car that night. Kennedy was the first defendant in Mecklenburg County history to take the stand without a plea deal.
He said that he needed a gun because he wanted to do it that night.
Michael Kennedy's gamble to testify without a plea deal paid off. Kennedy got just 10 years in prison, released in 2011. Court documents show he still lives in Mecklenburg County.
I fired 1 shot and 4 more shots. Bam, 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 bam. She was screaming.
Van Brett Watkins, now 58, was the admitted trigger man in the plan.
What kind of a man shoots an unarmed pregnant woman?
A man deeply troubled.
We talked to him from behind bars at the Craven Correctional Institution years ago. Reports say he has become a practicing Muslim.
But remember that this man here that they call crazy and everything else told the truth, showed remorse, and deeply cares.
He will be in jail until at least 2046, when he will be 85. Sandra Adams, who lost her only child, Sharika, in the murder-for-hire plot, has been raising her daughter's son, Chancellor, since birth.
A lot of times people say, why me? Why me? Why did this happen? I feel so blessed to have Lee Chancellor in my life.
Chancellor will be just 5 years younger than his mother when she was killed on the day his father walks out of prison. That walk to freedom will happen sometime Monday, but where Carruth is going, no one knows. His mother telling NBC Charlotte that after he walks out of that gate, he will get into the car owned by a friend and they will drive off to an undisclosed location. Reporting in Clinton, North Carolina, I'm Evan West for NBC Charlotte.
Evan, thank you. And our crews will be outside Sampson Correctional Facility as Ray Carruth is released. We'll be posting updates on Facebook and Twitter, as well as have the latest right here on NBC Charlotte all weekend.
There is a phenomenon taking over the East Coast, the West Coast, the Dirty South, and everywhere else. Some consider it to be a culture, a way of life, a part of hip-hop. However, lawmakers, law enforcement, and some residents are up in arms about how to crack down on this culture. Next on the tour, where we cover every aspect of the music industry on the Sister Speak show. When calamity takes the wheel, street takeovers and street racing in the USA. Who's producing the soundtrack for this culture? You made up in your mind that once you got to Hollywood, nothing was going to stop you. You were going to be famous and you were going to get a star on the Walk of Fame. You were willing to do whatever it takes to get your record deal, even if it means exploiting your God-given talents, even if it means hanging out late night with the who's who. Some people don't even have talent, but they're willing to do whatever it takes to get on. And many find out what the D and record deal really stands for. Next on the tour, surviving the producer's proposition. Although she's smiling, she has a secret, and this secret could destroy the entire dynamic of the family. A man expects his child to be his child. He expects Junior to be Junior if he's senior. However, paternity fraud continues to run rampant. It is not yet a crime punishable by law, so women continue to get away with it, targeting men after men who believe that they are the father. That means that people believe that these are their nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and cousins. How can a woman celebrate a lie? Who's devastated in the end? The children. Next on the culture climate, the lineage leech. When paternity fraud destroys the family tree. Brothers and sisters, repeat after me. There's no need to chase, only to embrace. The first episode of The Hair Appointment on This Is This Week show is available on demand now, rated R for strong content, language, and thoughts. Episode 1, TLC. Don't go chasing follicles. Please, stick to the textures and the melanin that you're used to. On The Hair Appointment, we're covering all aspects of hair, skin, and nails for all shades of brown people in the village. Click the link for the latest episode, where you can get tips, products, and wisdom on the Sister Speak show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. It's time to podcast and chill.
Did you know that the Sister Speak show is a syndicated podcast on Amazon Alexa and Sonos? Tell a friend. Also let them know that the show is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Thank you for downloading each episode on demand.
You are currently listening to Poison, Deadly, Moving in Slow. Red Flags on the Play. Athletic Carruth Syndrome. A cautionary tale on the Suspense Files, covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crimes. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Thank you for adding us to your podcast shuffle and for letting us be the flavor in your ear. Welcome back. You are listening to the Sister Speak Show Network. You are tuned into the Suspense Files, covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. I'm your host, Sister Speak. The time is 10:47 p.m. Central Standard Time in Dallas, Texas. Temperature is about 66 degrees. Still cool. Still vibing. Still popping. Poison, Deadly, Moving in Slow. Red Flags on the Play. We listen to a lot of red flags on the play. And now you need to govern yourself accordingly when it comes to what you have learned. And make sure that you're not ever so narrow-minded that you aren't aware that there's always bigger pictures. to idolize anything or anyone is a sin. Sports have layers, and we learn that. And those layers sometimes can affect the performance on the field. But it's more so the performance off the field. It is who are you, what do you represent, and what's really going on. And that's for the people who are attracted to the package of fame. Don't ever get so caught up in the moment that you forsake your moral compass. I thank you all for being a wonderful listening audience. I'm really, for Ray Caruth to be interested in wanting to be, have custody of his son, sir, no. Cool, you sat there, you realized you made a mistake and everything, but you lost that opportunity. You never wanted him, remember? You linked up with a violent criminal by the name of Van Brett Watkins to execute your girlfriend and your child. You told him to kill her. You ain't that fine. You ain't even cute. So for you to even drum up the audacity says a lot about whether or not you've really gained any wisdom while being behind bars, how much of repentance you've actually engaged in. Because that baby can't trust you. Your son was born with cerebral palsy and he was born premature because of you, nigga. You love bombed her. You chose her. You thought she was beautiful. She was in love with you. She told everybody about you, but you weren't ready. And so when it came time for some real stuff to happen, you weren't ready. All because you didn't want to pay child support, but now you want to pay child support by being there. No. Not this time, sir. It doesn't happen like that. You're dangerous. You're not safe. I don't care how long you spend in prison. The fact that that is your thought process is bold, it's arrogant, and it says a lot about you. The audacity of your lack of capacity to even have any wisdom. Athletic Caruth syndrome, a cautionary tale. Shout out to her grandmother, to Sharika Adams' mother, for taking on the task of making sure that her grandchild was safe and raised. Wow, can you imagine all of the turmoil, all of the emotions that family went through, finding out what happened, and still Sharika Adams having the ability to say on that 911 call that it was Ray. The agony in her voice as she was slipping away. This man who she loved, who was so fine, so this and so that, didn't even care. Heart hardened. And then executed a plan, gave the nod, had so many chances to call it off. So many chances to say, wait, I can't do this. This isn't right. It reminds me of a movie in the 90s, for those of you who have watched any Lifetime movies, The Killing Secret, with Greg Dunleavy and Emily DiCaprio, where Greg Dunleavy did not want to be a father. He was concerned about his father finding out and what it would do and his reputation, and didn't want to have a child with a girl who was living in a slum across town. And so she was determined, Emily that is, to have his baby. Now he had a girlfriend, Nicole, and didn't want Nicole to find out. So he murdered her, strangled Emily, then threw her body in a river, dumped her, panicked, didn't want to have anything to do with her. He even participated in the search party to find Emily. She was pregnant. The killing secret. That body washed up to shore. He didn't do a good job of disposing of the body. And they got him. They found out. It was a mess, the killing secret, and he was a football player, high school football player. Don't want that reputation to be ruined. The cautionary tales. Will you pay attention? Will you listen? Will you be celibate? Will you abstain? Will you not chase the professional athlete and put yourself in a position to potentially, hopefully, be able to collect child support? As you listen to the clips, a lot of people ain't making it to that. They're not getting to that part. That part is not happening as often as it used to. Now, if you care about yourself, if you have any dignity, you'll think 3 times before you go off gallivanting at the nearest stadium trying to see who gonna be your baby daddy. Don't go chasing water balls. Did you say water balls, Ayana? Did. On that note, I thank you all for being a wonderful listening audience. I hope you continue to press through. I hope you continue to have a productive week. I hope that you continue to establish boundaries. I hope that you are taking your power back. I hope you are letting your yes be yes and your no be no. You never know. You just never know what's in that cup. What's in that sports drink? Why is he being so nice to you? Why don't you feel good? Something's off. Something's not right. You didn't take time to get to know this person. It was the glitz. It was the glam. It was the spontaneity of it all. It was the love bombing. It was the despotism. It was a recipe for disaster. That's how that poison moves in slow. And it is deadly. What is that poison? Not only is it a physical poison, but it's the lack of wisdom. It's being impatient. It's panicking. It's being miseducated. It's being uneducated. It's being lustful. It's the power. It's intoxicating. It's the status. It's inebriating. If you don't have the right mind, don't go chasing water balls. Thank you for being a wonderful listening audience. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Blessed be the name of the Most High God, who reigns supreme. Till we meet again, you all be blessed and have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever time you're listening to this episode. Poison deadly, moving in slow. Red flags, a cautionary tale. Athletic Caruth syndrome.